Hi everyone, welcome to the first session of Tic Tac Toe. So, in this whole series of tutorials, we will be building a digital version of our Tic Tac Toe game. So, all of you must have seen this picture. Not only seen, you must have played with your friends sometime or the other in your classrooms or somewhere. So, it was pretty fun, like drawing these just two simple lines and then trying to figure out, let you put X and then someone will put an O and then someone again will put an X and then someone again will put an O and then someone again will put an X and O. We have a winner. So that's how it looks like, right? So what we are trying to do, or what we will be trying to do here, is kind of create a digital version of this thing, a digital version where we will do the same thing, implement the same logic digitally. So I think all of you understand it pretty well, like what are the rules, like how it's pretty simple, very simple, like just draw a few lines and each turn will get a chance out and they will put whatever they want, X and O, in the places. And as soon as anyone is able to make, uh, what should I say, any row, any column, or any diagonal with their either X or O, then that is the winner. So this is it. Very simple game. And what we will do is, like, we will create a digital version of this game. How the digital version should look like, how we should kind of put an X or an O, all these things. So I hope you understand the problem statement, like what we need to do. We need to create digital version of our tic-tac-toe game, which we used to play on paper, or which some of you might be playing now as well. And yeah, so that's a kind of brief introduction. And now let's go ahead and try to understand the requirements. So it's like when we are kind of building an application, and here the requirements is a very important thing. So let's go ahead and list down requirements. So do you think what all will be our requirements? So let's try to simplify and understand. So, if we kind of create our game on the paper, so we kind of easily draw these lines like that. And that's it. We are done. So we have our board ready. So, this part, you can easily call this part as a board. So what is this? This is our, I should say this is our board. So we need such a board as our requirement. And then what is the next thing that we do is, like, we try to put mark. These are kind of, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 places. And in all these 9 places, we try to mark. Here, we can put X or we can put O based on the needed, whatever we need. So X, O, X, and so on. So like in our board, we can see that we have kind of, I should say, 9 boxes. And to all those 9 boxes, we should be able to mark them with either X or O. That is the next thing. So on requirement front, I'll list down board. And then inside that board, markable boxes. So these are the board, and these boxes should be markable with X and O. That is a kind of only requirement. And then obviously we wanted to display the score. So I can say we need some display area. Also along, so on display area, maybe there will be a player X, kind of, there will be a player X, and there will be a player O, and kind of we can display the scores. What is the score of X and what is the score of O? So every time any player wins, we can kind of add one to the score and show it. So this is display area. Also, for a better looking and understanding, we can give a title to the game like Tic Tac Toe. So I think this is also in display area. So I can say I can remove this extra kind of thing, and kind of I should say in display area we need title, and then here we need kind of a what say player's score. So this is it, and the boxes should be markable, and it's like after marking we should be kind of able to figure out who is the winner and all. So that's kind of our another thing. So requirement wise we need all these things. Now folks, as we are aware that we are building a software, an application, so these requirements will be bifurcated into two parts. So first thing is like we need a visible board, we need a visible display area. So we can, let me kind of take this down a bit, this requirement, and then kind of, so when I kind of talk about requirements, so there will be kind of two things, and the two things will be like, one is, I should say, let me bring it down more. Yeah, kind of, okay, this is also here. Yeah, this looks good. Okay. So when I talk of requirements, I can put it into two parts. So let me kind of bifurcate. One part is like, I can say UI requirements. UI, you must be knowing, that is user interface. And then the another part I can say is backend logic. So I hope you understand backend logic. So when I say backend logic, we can clearly understand that let's say I'm marking something. So after marking, kind of checking for who is the winner. So that can be a part of our backend logic. So let's kind of try to bifurcate this requirement. So on UI front, what all things we need to build? So we need to build the board with markable boxes. And then on display area, we need to build our display area. When I talk of backend logic, what all we need to do is on backend logic, we need to find like winner, and then update score, and after winner update score, once the player wins, then we need to kind of reset the board as well. So these are kind of requirements. If an else needed, or if at later point of time we feel that something else is also needed, we can easily go ahead and add those things here. Okay, folks. So this is kind of a brief of this game. Now let's go ahead and kind of try to talk about the technologies which we'll be using. So after completion of requirements, I'll go and say here, right, technologies used. Let me technologies used. So what are the technologies we need? So we need to build a UI and a backend logic. So for UI, we will be using JavaFX. UI will be using JavaFX. And for backend logic, we will use Java language. That's it. These are the things we need on front of our UI requirements. Now, let's start our discussion regarding JavaFX and kind of creation of our application and explanation of some code that is auto-generated. So first of all, I'll go ahead and explain what is JavaFX. Uh, as I have already explained why we need it. We need it for creation of our user interface. So let's see what is JavaFX and kind of how we can create an application in JavaFX. So what I'll do is I'll open my browser and here I'll type JavaFX. Simple Google search. So if you see the first option that appeared, so JavaFX is an open source next generation client application platform for desktop, mobile, and embedded system built on Java. So that's to generate client applications. I hope you must be knowing about what is let's say client application, what is server application and all. Now let's open this Java T-Point website. So this is really good full and a lot of things has been explained very well here. Now I have opened it. The thing is I'll highly encourage all of you to go through this complete document and read everything that is given there. But I'll go through some of the important parts and then maybe I can leave the rest of the things for you to explore. So the first important thing is, if you see, JavaFX is a library that is used to develop desktop application as well as rich internet application. So like it's kind of a library to develop applications. And the important thing is applications built in JavaFX can run on multiple platforms, including web, mobile, and desktop applications. Okay. So this is kind of brief. And now I'll go ahead and highlight some more things. You must have heard about Java Swing or may have made some project in Java Swing as well. So here, if you see, JavaFX is intended to replace Swing in Java application as a GUI framework. What is GUI? I don't know if you people know it or not, but when I say the GUI, that is graphical user interface. Graphical user interface. So it's like JavaFX is used to kind of build the GUI, build the graphical user interface, and it's kind of obviously intended to replace Swing, means it will or maybe replace Java Swing in near future. It provides more functionalities than Swing and it has its own components. Important thing is like own component that does not depend on operating system, means they are not dependent on OS. They are independent of it. It's lightweight and everything. These things are important. So here we will use this JavaFX library to build our user interface. Now you can go through the history, like when and all, how things happened. This is kind of description of everything that is kind of there. And these are kind of a lot of topics, basics about JavaFX, 2D shapes. We need shapes. We have text formatters, a lot of things. JavaFX UI controls, label, button, radio button, scroll bar. Then here you can see animation. We will use this, and Java transformation, this charts, and a lot of things. So I encourage you to kind of go through it if you wish. But what kind of we will do is we will learn by doing. So whatever components, whatever things that is actually needed in our application. So let's say I need a button. So I'll read about the button at that time, understand how button works and kind of what are the functionalities that is important for me. So we will learn only what's needed. And let's say if someone is much more interested, so kind of I'll be showing resources from where you can reference these things and learn it. So that's kind of brief. This page is really, really important. You can find a lot of things here. So just go completely through it, and kind of if you have any doubts or anything, you can ask. So that's it about JavaFX, folks. If you kind of wanted to learn more and also you can go through the below links as well. This is kind of, this is Oracle official documentation. So you can go here as well and see what they have to say. So what is JavaFX? A set of graphics and media packages that enable to design, create, test, debug, and deploy rich client applications, right? So JavaFX applications, availability, what are its key features? So a lot of things. So if someone is, what can I build with JavaFX? So this is like kind of things that you people can build. So if someone is kind of much more interested, this is kind of exhausted documents from the creators, right? So you can go through it and kind of try to go as deep as you want. But for this application, if you are kind of going forward, build your career as a backend developer, so just read or understand only what's needed for our project, and rest things you can leave. I don't think there is any need. But yeah, I showed you the first link, that is kind of Java T point, very important. And this is official documentation. Okay. So this is it on JavaFX. I have shown you resources. You can go ahead and learn about it. Now let's do the kind of most important part. Let's go ahead and create the application. So obviously on IDE front, like I will be using IntelliJ. So you must have been informed already. So I'll be using IntelliJ. So I'll open my IntelliJ and kind of I'll start things. So let it open and then we will start. So this is IntelliJ. You know, you must have seen the version. If you haven't, then go pause the video, go back and see. And now I will create a new application. So file, new, and project. So this is kind of basic project. We are going to build a new project. File, new, and project. Pretty simple steps. Okay. Yeah. So I got the prompt, file, new project. Here on the left side, you can see a lot of options. New project, empty project, Maven archetype, JavaFX, Kotlin, and a lot. Choose JavaFX here. Choose JavaFX. Now give a name. So let me give snake, ladder, and kind of say it's fab. So fab, snake, ladder, fab. I give the name. This is location, wherever you want to put, that's up to you. And the important thing is let the language be Java and build system as Maven. You might be asking like what's a build system. So don't worry, it will be taught to you in your later classes. If you are much interested, go ahead and kind of read about it. So I have given the name snake, ladder, fab, and kind of this is important. This is Java version 19. So make sure that all of you has this version only. It may happen that if you have selected some another different version, you may get some errors. I'm not saying that you will definitely get errors, but you may get some errors because of version, and I don't want you people to kind of stuck in those things. So better you keep everything as it is. The name, of course, it's of your choice. Now I'll go to the next. Here you will see a lot of options. Here you can clearly see there are a lot of options. Don't select any. Don't select any. Just go ahead and click on create. You may get this prompt. Pause the video and read it for a while. I'll open it in this window itself. Okay. So now kind of I have created a new application from scratch. And obviously now we can see some auto-generated code. So as per our agenda, the part of creating an application is done. Kind of I'll repeat the steps again. File,
new, and then file new project, and then the names and everything, next, and then kind of create. That's it. So your project will be created. Our project is created now and everything is in shape. Now obviously you can see a lot of methods here, some classes and everything got generated for you. Now we will go ahead and kind of the third agenda of our video is like auto-generated code. So now we will go ahead and kind of try to understand the auto-generated code, like what is this piece of code, what are its parts, and how kind of it's helping us, right? Okay, so now let's discuss about this auto-generated code. So as you can see that there is application class, and here there is a start method which is overridden, and then you can easily see main. So as from our previous knowledge, we know that execution of any program starts from main. So let's see. So what I'll do is I'll kind of go and try to find and search these things just like a beginner. So let me go to my browser, and then I'll paste application class in Java FX, and then I'll search. So this is the first link, Oracle Docs, official documentation, always great if you can read and understand it. And then this tutorial points link, this is also really awesome. So I'll highly encourage you people to go through these documents properly as to understand things in a bit detailed, right? And then here things are explained pretty well in a graphical manner. So JavaFX application structure. Java application will have three major components: stage, scene, and node. So you can see stage, scene, nodes. Stage has been described, scene has been described, and graph, scene, graph, and nodes has been described. And then you can like how to create class and everything, those things are given. So kind of let's start reading from like what is what. So as of now we wanted to understand application. So you can see application class from which JavaFX application extends. So it's like so it's kind of a base class, and entry point of JavaFX application is the application class. This is really important. And JavaFX runtime does the following in order. So it's like for JavaFX application, the entry point is application class. So any Java application, it will start from this application class. And then it's like whenever an application is launched, so kind of these things will happen, like construct an instance of the specified application class, call init, call start, wait for application to finish, perform exit, and call stop method. So this is the flow. So now we understand at least about application, like it's the entry point for JavaFX application is the application class. And now let's go to our auto-generated code and see what other things are there. So here you can kind of clearly see that another thing which we have is kind of the execution will start from main. So here we have a launch method, and then we have start, we have kind of stage, and we have scene. So kind of let's try to understand these two methods first, the launch and the start, and then we will kind of understand about stage and kind of scene. So let me see if the launch method is given here somewhere, Control FV. Yeah, so we have for launch, we have 22 matches. Let's go ahead and see. Threading launch application dot launch. So you can see Java launcher loads initialize the specified application thread if no main method in the application, or if the main method application calls application.launch, then instance of application is then constructed on JavaFX application thread. So it's like kind of this method will be called from main. This is an example. Let's see where all. Yeah, so launch, it's like extend application class, and launch like string arguments, a standalone applications, launch a standalone application. So it's kind of this the method that will be called from main. So yeah, here I can see the two launch methods, so you can read the detail. So launch a standalone application, this method is typically called from main method, and it must not be called more than once or an exception will be thrown. This is equivalent to launch the class dot args, where the class is immediately enclosing class of the method which called launch. It must be subclass of application or a runtime exception will be thrown, right? So the method does not return until application has exited. So it's like, launch will be called from main. You can call it only one time, and kind of it is actually which starts the application. So that's if you kind of try to trace the flow, the execution will start from main, and then finally main will call the launch, which will kind of create our application, the JavaFX thing. Now let's go and try to understand about start. So here we should be able to find start as well. Yeah. So start, stage, primary, stage. So the main entry point of all JavaFX application, the start method is called after init method has returned and after the system is ready for application to be running. So this is important. Like start is kind of when your application starts running, launch has happened, init, all the initialization is happened, and finally your application will start running. This method is called on JavaFX application thread. Okay, then there are stop and other things as well. So this should be good enough. Read the details. If you don't understand anything, kind of go and deep dive into it. Now let's see how the structure and everything looks like. So here in the code, you can see there is a stage and there is a scene. So we'll try to understand these two things now. So it's like there are three major components: stage, scene, and nodes. So what is stage, what is scene? So stage is a window kind of. It contains all the objects. So stage, what is stage? A window, normal window. That's it. And it contains everything that is in FX application. So kind of you can say the base container, the starting which will UI component which will hold everything. Stage is created by platform, or you can call platform or OS that creates the stage. State object is passed as an argument to the start method. Fine. Explained in next section. Start method has been stage has two parameters, width, height you can set, and then there are different types of stages as well, so you can read about it. That's good to have. And yes, now it comes scene represent physical content. So whatever physical things means whatever actual things that we will see as a part of our UI, those are kind of comes in scene. Means in a stage a blank container is created and then we put some scene graphics and everything. So JavaFX scene represent the scene object is added only one stage. Fine, it can be added. Then create a scene by instantiating these things and with root node to its constructor. So you can read the details. Scene is like a tree-like data structure hierarchical representing contents of a scene. So whatever things now we will put, you will understand later like how things are represented. So that will be put inside the scene. A node, and what is node kind of? So if you see the diagram here, so these things will be created and everything inside. So whatever the children of scene, we will be creating and putting all our controls there as and when required. So this is about scene. Yeah, maybe you can read more: root node, branch, parent, a lot of things, how creating application, right? Start in this method, we will write code for JavaFX application. Abstract method start. You can in the main method you have launch the application using launch method, and this method, the launch method, internally calls the start method. This is really important. So launch is called and launch internally calls the start to kind of build things and run the application. So within start method is a typical, you need to create scene graph and everything. So kind of from start you will start creating things on your own, then preparing scene and graph. So you can do it in a lot of ways. I'm not going into that. So what's important is we know that application class is the starting point, and then any application starts from main. So here our launch method of application class will start our application. This method will internally call the start method, and in start method we will create some UI. The stage is passed, we will create a scene and then kind of pass this scene as a kind of as a child to stage, which will kind of display the scene. And yeah, we can set title and everything. So kind of let me run the application and let's see what we have from this auto-generated piece of code. So I have kind of run the application and the build is about to finish. And we should be, yeah. So this is the UI which we are seeing. Hello is written. And here also hello is written. So let's kind of figure out where this hello is coming from. So if you see stage.set title, this is where the hello is coming from. So let me kind of make it like hello Angad and then run it. Then the title, this should change to hello Angad instead of just hello. Let's see if it is working. Yeah, hello Angad. And from where this button is coming, let's try to figure that out. So, we have a hello view.fxml and here you can kind of see button text hello. So this in fxml file, this button has been created, and if you change the text here and it's like on home button click. So on whenever you click that button, this method will be called. Fine. So this is all about the auto generated code. And then now we will go ahead and kind of modify the code a bit to suit our requirements. And as soon as it's done, then we can move to the next steps. So let me go back to my this OneNote. So, we have kind of, I told you a bit about JavaFX, kind of we have done created the application as well. And I have explained you auto-generated code as well and kind of given you links like these pages, the Oracle official documentation and this tutorial points. So these are really good. You can go through it to understand things well. And in case you have some doubts and all, you can ask me always. So this is it. Now we have kind of understood the auto-generated code as well. Let's move ahead and kind of change a few things, basic things. But before that, let me tell you a few things. So there are multiple ways to create UI. There are multiple ways to create UI in JavaFX. One method is a scene builder method. So in scene builder method, with some GUI tools, we kind of create our scene. Then you can clearly see here that this is kind of an HTML syntax. So this is also one method. So you can kind of HTML-like syntax, HTML-like syntax. So you can create, and then another method is like code. So in this, you will kind of write code here itself in this part. You will create buttons and everything here and then kind of move ahead. So for this tutorial, we will be moving with code method. So we will prefer code method. We will code all our controls, buttons and everything that's needed. And obviously, if you wanted to try these two things out, obviously all the best. You can create the UI in those manner and then kind of use the backend of whatever that is taught. So it's all up to you, but we will be using code and kind of let me do some basic changes to start it just. So what I will do is, first of all, I will disconnect this HTML kind. So I'll kind of delete this line. I have deleted that fxml line, and kind of inside scene, I have deleted this as well. I have deleted this. Now what I'll do is I'll create own method. So private void, private pane. What is pane and all we'll understand. Private pane, create content. So kind of we will create the whatever contents that is we want in the UI. So create content. In that I'll create pane. So pane root equal to new pane. And then I'll simply return it. Return root. And I will call this method. What I'll do is I'll pass sizes to this. So I'll remove sizes from here as well. So yeah. So I have called this. That's it. Very small change, but very important. So, and now whatever things that will happen, we will kind of bind all our UI controls from here. From this will be the kind of starting point for us for application, this is the starting point, and we have called our created this method here. So kind of let me rerun it and see whatever we are having. So it is run and I have kind of got a blank canvas. Now let's go ahead and kind of understand. Let me delete unnecessary things. So what I'll do is I'll remove this one I don't need, and then I'll remove this hello controller. So do a right click and then delete. Delete anyway, no problem. So I have deleted that. Now we have our hello application only, and this is kind of our hello. Let me rerun it. So this is our hello application. Now I will go ahead and kind of explain you what is pain. So as I have already told initially, we will be doing things, we will learn JavaFX things by doing. So we have used pain, and I think if you have observed, it was red earlier. So why it was because of imports. So you can clearly see if you are getting some red and the class is not imported, this is the import line. Very important, javafx.scene.layout.pane. So this is kind of important thing. Now let's go ahead and learn a bit about pane. So I'll go ahead, create a new tab and type JavaFX and pane. Let's see what Google has to say. So this is let's read it. JavaFX pane class is a layout container which can contain other JavaFX components internally and lay them out. So it's like kind of a blank canvas where you can kind of put another controls. JavaFX pane class do not actually provide any layout algorithm. So it doesn't have, it simply displays components. So whatever components you will put, it will display. This is also kind of, you can read from this documentation, you can read from Geeks for Geeks, you can read from Tutorial Point, anything. Base class for layout panes, which needs exposure of its children as public so that the user can of subclass can freely add and remove children. So it's like it's base class for all the layout containers. So it's a pane, and you can consider this as a blank canvas, and you can use whatever things or whatever controls you want here, like a button or another pane or anything. Okay. You can read more. So resizable range, there are width, what is preferred, what is maximum. Okay, and then height, these are things. So you can kind of go set perf size. So these are things that we'll be using. So go through this document. Let's say when we use this one, so come on, go refer this document and try to understand what it means. So pretty good one. Just go and whatever things you don't understand, kind of Google like that and learn it. So this is pane. Okay, and yeah, that should be good enough. And now we can kind of move, let's finish this lecture here, and then we can move out towards our actual application part.
We will build our UI, we will build our user interface. So till now you have understood the technologies we'll use, you understood a bit about JavaFX, and you understood the auto-generated code. And there will be one minute change. Instead of here the name of Snake and Ladder, you are seeing Tic Tac Toe. So that's the only difference. So while making the project, or just pause the video and make a new project and give the name as Tic Tac Toe. I have given it as Tic Tac Toe Fab. You can give anything, but only the name is changing. If you see how the code looks like, the pane as usual same, and these two methods as usual same, and the UI, this is also exactly same. So pause the video for a while and change the name if you want. And it doesn't matter if you don't want to change it as well. You can continue with the same name, but it will be better if you change it. And now let's move ahead from this point. So now we will go ahead and kind of based on our requirements, what we have mentioned, we will create our UI. So there is something that I'll do before that. So here we have a pane. Right, so here we have a pane, and you already know what pane is. So what I'll do is now let's see some specific type of pane. So let me go to the browser and kind of see like border pane in Java. So clearly you can read border pane layouts children in top, left, right, bottom, and center. So, so the border pane is a special type of pane, just like there is a person class and there is a student class, same way. So there is a pane and there is a border pane, which is a special type of pane. And here you can lay out the children. So whatever components we are placing, we can put in this format, like top, left, center, right, and bottom. And here, as per our requirements, we can clearly see that we need a board with markable boxes. So that's one part. We need a display area. So in display area, we need to display the title and the scoreboard. So what kind of UI I'm thinking of building is something like this. Yeah. So on the top, we can have a title. Here, just like Tic Tac Toe. Tic Tac Toe. And then in this area, we will provide our the board. So I should write board area here. Here also it will be something like we need some thing as clickable as, so just board. Maybe for simplicity I'll draw just lines. So that's one, that's another, and the similar things. So that's how more or less our board will look like. Yeah. So this is the board area, and in the end will kind of X score, there will be some 0 or something, and then O score, that will be something, let's say 1. So that's how I'm thinking of designing the UI. If you want to design it in some way, all the best. You can do it, and that will be really good. You can put the title here or score here, anything that suits you. It's totally up to you how you wanted to make the look and feel of UI. How I wanted, I'll go ahead. So, why I'm using a border pane instead of a simple pane is like, I need to I can put the title on the top. I can put score on the bottom, and then let me kind of copy this image and bring. So, this is, oh, yeah. So this is kind of, it is matching our requirements. Here we can kind of put our title. Let me zoom the image a bit more. Yeah. So here on the top, we can put our title. Here we can put our score. And in this area, the center whole area, we can put our board. So that's why I choose the border layout, border pane. And you can, we could have done with a simple pane as well, but that will need translation and all. Here things will become a lot simpler. If you wanted to build something else, kind of try to understand different panes and work on that. So let's go ahead and let me tweak my code. So I'll here write a border pane. Yeah, you can see border pane. And then here I need to change everywhere. That's it. So this is also border pane, and this is also border pane. Cool. Just a small change, and let me rerun the application. Oh, everything looks same, no changes. Now let me change the name as well. So from hello application, I'll do the refactor, right click, and then pay very high attention to it. So this is like changing name. If you know the refactor functionality, it's great. If you don't know, try to read about it and learn it. It's really important. So rename, I'll put Tic Tac Toe. Tic Tac Toe. So this class name as well as this file name get changed. So both things. So refactor means whatever functionalities or whatever identifier names you wanted to change, you can change in a single go at all the places. Click it, select it, right click and refactor. Rewind the video again if you wanted to understand it well. So that's it. And instead of hello, I'll give the name, I'll change name to Tic Tac Toe. Tic Tac enter. So that's it. Let me run the application again. And I think we should be good enough with our basic starting Tic Tac Toe. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and kind of take a look at our requirements and build it. So on the requirement front, we can see that on UI, we need a board. We have divided into a title, board, and kind of a score. So let me partition my code. So here I'll put a title, and then I need to write some code for board. And finally, I need to write some code for score. Here instead of board, I should write game board. And then here I can say score. So these are the three parts. Now let's go ahead and complete all three parts individually. So on title, we can see that we have a title of Tic Tac Toe. And for this, I will use a label. So what is the label? We'll see, but let me kind of write it. So label, title, label equal to new label. And I'll give title as Tic Tac Toe. So this is it. So I have created a label. That's one part. And let's read what a label is. So I'll give this already here. So label in JavaFX. So label is a non-editable text control. A label is useful for displaying text that is required to fit within a specific space, thus may need to use an ellipsis or truncation to fit the size. So this is it. So you can simply say, if you want to display something, that's it. You can use label, display any text. So I have kind of put, now the point is like the label is created. Now we need to add this label to our root. So this is the root. So how I'll do is, our label is on the top. So I'll add it accordingly. So label root dot set top. We have a method set top. So I can put my label. So title label. That's it. Simple. So I have created a label and I have put it on the top. So let's see how it is looking now. Obviously, some things must have been changed. And oh, so very small, right? Really, really small Tic Tac Toe. Why it happened like that is, the size has decreased pretty highly. So why it happened is like we haven't provided any size to this root. So that's why it happened. And it is in the sidelines. So the title should not be this small, right? So kind of let's go ahead and try to put some styling, some things to this title to make it look better. So for adding styles, we have title label dot set style. And in that, we can provide whatever styling, just like a CSS. So we have an FX, font, and then size. 20, let's give a 24 PD. And also, there is a font weight. So I'll put FX, font, and then weight. And here I should provide a value of, let's say, bold. That's it. So this is I have done. This is the syntax. If you kind of wanted to know how to write, let's see if I have written correctly or not. Yeah, this is kind of looking big now. So that's the syntax. That's how you can write it. Pause the video, type it as exactly. And let's say if you wanted to understand, so you can kind of go and type label styling in JavaFX. So, you can go to some websites and then you can see like how you can style the label. So there are, I think, a lot of background color. So this is like a coding way of styling, and this is like, type, set, fill, white, set font size, set, fill, white. So this is like, these are the kind of stylings which can be used very easily. Okay. So if you wanted to read more about it, go and read it. If you don't, it's fine. The styling, whatever we need is little here. So that's it. So we have our big title. Now, still a lot of things needs to be done. So let's kind of move to those set of things. So we have done, we have kind of added our title. Now we need to work on the game board and the scoreboard. So let's work out our scoreboard first, and then we will kind of work on the game board. So for scoreboard, what all things we need? So we need to display. So we can definitely use the label, but there is one catch. The title will never change. So I have taken a local variable, but the score on every finishing of the game, if any player wins, we need to constantly update the scores. So for that, let me create the labels outside. So private label player X score label, and same player Y or O score label. So these two variables I created. Now I need to kind of put some text, put some just like I need to put the score values. I need to put some kind of say styling to it, and then I need to put them in the as per our plan. I need to put them in the bottom. So here what I'll do, I'll kind of create my controls, and then I'll put those controls, these two labels, I think O score and X score, in a box, and then put that box here in our border pane. So let's do that. Why we are doing that? Because in this border layout, we can set objects I want to set 3 objects on top, center, and bottom. So the score is containing of 2 labels. So let me go ahead and kind of work that out. So for that, we have our control hbox score board equal to new hbox. So first of all, let's try to understand what an hbox is. So I'll go ahead on the browser back, and then hbox in JavaFX. So hbox is a part of JavaFX, was a layout its children in form of horizontal columns. Hbox has a border, padding, and everything. So the good thing is like you can read from anywhere. That arrange nodes in a single row. So this is the beauty. So what I want here, obviously my scores here, as I have designed, I want them in a row, and then I want to put that row kind of in the bottom. So that's why I'm using a hbox. So let me go ahead and kind of now create these objects. So player X score label equal to new label, and I can say player X, and let the score be 0. And then similarly, I can let me go ahead and do the same thing for player O as well. So I'll copy it and paste it. While copy pasting, make sure you don't make silly mistakes, else it will ruin your code. And then here, player O. So I have now both player scores in place, and now I need to kind of add it to the H box. So scoreboard dot add scoreboard dot get children dot add. So these will be added as a children of scoreboard. So player X and then player O. So the basic simple thing kind of now let's go ahead and kind of add this scoreboard to our root. So where we want to put the scoreboard at the bottom. So root dot set bottom, and then we can put our scoreboard here. That's it. Simple enough. Obviously, we can provide the styling and everything to our scoreboard, but that's secondary. Having a scoreboard is important. So let's see what we are getting. Yeah, we have our scoreboard as well now. Player X0, player Y0. I want some kind of say styling, so I'll just copy this part and use it. And maybe I'll decrease the font size. So player X dot set, and then I'll make the size as I think 20 or maybe 16. If you want something else, you can definitely put it. Then player O, and I'll paste the same thing, and I'll again make it as 16. So this is kind of, I wanted to format it the way you wanted to format it. Yeah, that's, you can format it in any way you wish. So let's see. Okay, now it looks good. So our Tic Tac Toe title is ready, and kind of our score is also ready. And obviously the score variables, the labels which we have created are outside of this function. So we can, these are global variables for our class, so we can edit them anywhere. So we don't need to worry. Now the most important part is here, like how we will actually kind of, I should say, how we will actually create our board. So that is the most important part. First of all, let's try to understand a few things, and then we will go ahead and create our board. So let's try to understand what we want in the board. So as per the game, or we have kind of identified, like we can put anything here. Maybe let's say we can put some tiles, something like this here, and then something like this here as well. Then something like this, something like this, something. So like that at all the places. And what we want in the end result. So the end result which we are expecting is key whenever we click on this. So let me kind of take one tile out of it. So let me take this one out and right here. So whenever we click on this, so click. Whenever there is a click, based on the turn kiski hai, it X turns or O turns. So we can get some text here, like either it should be X based on X turns, or it should be O based on O's turns. So this is what our aim is. And if we kind of try to think what is the simplest thing that we can do, so that is like the simplest thing will be kind of a button. So, for clicking and then doing some events, buttons are the first thing that comes to our mind. So kind of let's see what buttons are in JavaFX. Button in JavaFX. So we have different types of button. So let's kind of see what buttons are. And once we know what buttons are, then we will kind of go ahead and add it. So JavaFX button control is represented by this class. A button is a component that can control behavior of application. So here, what behavior we are talking about? Here we have only kind of one behavior. So whenever you click, it should change to X, and then it's like or O based on what is the condition, whose turn it is, if X turns or O's turn. So this is how you can go through it to try to understand how we can add button and then how we can click that button. So this is the important part. So what we will do is, so we will kind of create a grid of buttons. So we will create a grid of buttons, and in those buttons, we will kind of set the size of button in such a way that it looks like a tile, and then we can kind of write events on top of it. So what we'll do, we'll kind of create a grid of button. Let me go below and write here. So create a grid of button, a grid. When I say a grid of button, so when I say a grid, just like this, we have a 3x3, right? Create a grid of button, and then make it look like a tile. Make it look like a tile. And then add some event. Add event on click, so that whenever we click, it converts to an X, the text, or it converts to an O. So I hope you people understand that. Now let's go ahead and kind of create that grid. Obviously, we will need a grid of buttons. So I'll create a two-dimensional array here, private button equal to private button buttons equal to new button, and I need a 3x3, so that's what I'll give in dimensions. Here you are getting a kind of red. Why it is? So if you hover, you will see the class is not imported. So you can import class. If you see in my import statements, this is the import. So if somehow it is not coming in your ID, pause the video and write this import exactly as javafx.scene.control.button. So I have created a grid of buttons. And now what all I need to do is I need to add these buttons. I need to kind of create that many buttons and add it. And obviously, as we have seen for the two labels, we have added it in an H box. So let's see if we have some layout where we can add a grid of buttons as well. And fortunately, we have a very good layout, type of pane, and that is called grid pane. So let's see what grid pane is in JavaFX. So grid pane layout its children with a flexible grid of rows and columns. So that's the beauty. So just like Hbox takes everything into a row, grid pane keeps everything in rows and columns. So let's see if we have some images. Yeah, this is a very good image. So kind of let me take this image. copy image, and then let's try to understand a grid pane a bit. Yeah. So that's how things are. So if we want some controls to be placed, so this image is really important to understand. So first, let me kind of tell you a bit about grid, like how the screen looks like. So all of you must be aware of our grid system, our X and Y coordinates. Okay, so we have an X and we have an Y. But it's like when it comes to our screen, and this is origin, this is how the coordinate looks, X and Y. So this top left corner here, this one, where I'm creating a black dot. So this is our origin, and whenever we go to the right side, we move on X and we move on Y. So this grid pane also is built like that. So if you see the rows and columns, the way are divided, rows and columns. So that's how. So this is 0, 0, then this is 0, 1, 0. No. So the first one is X. So 1, 0, then 0. So yeah, so that's how the rows and columns are. We can clearly understand it. Here we have, and that's how in rows and columns we can put our controls. So let's go ahead and kind of create this grid pane and then put all our buttons into that grid pane. So if you wanted to read a more bit about grid pane and all, so you see, so maybe that's what we wanted to create, something like this. That's what. Obviously, we will change the look and feel, but initially that's what we want to create. So let me kind of copy this image as well. Copy image and then put it here. Like this is what is you are seeing a lot of things like H gap, padding, V gap, and everything. We will understand those things in time as well. So if you know, it's like the gap. So it's like the gap between rows, the gap between columns. So H gap is kind of horizontal gap and V gap is vertical gap. So let's go ahead and kind of do these things in our code. So I have created a grid of buttons. Now here I'll create a grid pane now. So grid pane equal to new grid pane. I have created a grid pane, and in this grid pane I wanted to add my buttons. So I'll write a loop. I don't know whether if you are aware of or not, there is a very beautiful shortcut to write loops. So here I'll type for I IntelliJ and press enter. So you will get the loop will be auto generated for you. So I want a 3x3 grid, and then for J, for I again, and then see, now the loop is running with J. So this is also with 3. So I have created a 3x3 loop. So it will generate 9 buttons for me. And now I wanted to place buttons. So let me create button equal to new button. So I'm creating a new button, and kind of let me add something constant text here. And then, so we have created a button. And now what we want to do is we wanted to add this button to the grid pane. So let me go ahead. So I can say grid pane dot add, and you see this is how we can add it. So what is that control we want? So we wanted to add our button, and on ith row and jth column. So that's it. So that's how. Also I have created this array of buttons, a 2D array. So I need to add my button here as well. So buttons I j equal to button. So I have created a button and then added it in my grid. So remember, this is just a space of where we can create and put our buttons, and now we are adding actual buttons to it. So these are the two things that I have done: created a grid and kind of added 9 buttons to our array as well as this grid. And now the final step is like we need to add this grid to our UI, and that is root. So simply we want to place this in center now. So we have kind of uh, put our title, we have put our score. Now let's put this in the center. And I think you can easily guess the method. So root dot set center. That's the method. And I get put grid pane. So that's it. Now let me run the application. Okay, we got some buttons and we are able to click it. Awesome. The buttons are looking very small and we need bigger ones. So let me go ahead and kind of add some size to the button. So button dot set size. So we have a set preferred size. So I'll take that and let me kind of add 100, 100 pixels. So now let me run the application and see what is happening. Now the button should be all awesome. So now we have the buttons in place, we have the title in place, and we have this player in place. So that's great, folks. There are a few things that we need to do. Obviously, if you can see the title is on the left, it should be on the center. This is also on the left side, and the extern buttons is very small. So we will do and modify things. But the important thing here is the buttons are in place and kind of our very basic the target which we took, like we need these things. So that is done. So let's stop here. The creation of basic UI is kind of complete for us. Let's stop here, and from here onwards, let's try to work on the next parts, like maybe the next part will be functionality and other things. We will kind of develop our more functionality. So kind of let's do a rewind what we have done till now. So till now we understood our auto-generated code, and then we decided like what is the kind of UI we wanted to create. So that's how we decided we'll put a header, and then we will kind of in the end we will put a scoreboard, and in the middle we will put the button, and we did everything that's needed for that. So we put the title, we created a grid of buttons, and then initialized that grid with each button and added everything to the grid, and then finally added that grid in the our border pane. And finally for the scoreboard we created 2 labels and put them in a box, and then finally put it in the root. So that's how, and this is how our UI is looking as a result of it. Let's just do one more thing. On the button, the text, this dash which I have provided, is kind of very, very small. So I wanted to make it bigger. So I'll just do this. So kind of I'll copy this style and just put it for the button as well. So button dot set style, so that font size becomes bigger. And let's see now. So the font, oh, okay, yeah, now it looks good. Now it's fine. Or moreover, we can kind of give some gaps and all things, but those things we will keep for the end. Or maybe let's do that. At least we need some buttons in the gap. So if you have seen here in this grid pane, there is a H gap and a V gap. So let me give that. So this is the grid pane, and I can say key grid pane dot set h gap, and let's give it 10. Also grid pane dot set gap, set v gap, and let me give it as 10 as well. So this is it. Very small changes, but that will make our UI look a lot better. Okay, now it's looking fine. Obviously, the edges and everything we can modify a lot, but leave those things. In the end, after we are done with our functionalities, we can do that. And here, let me remove this dash so that nothing is visible on my buttons. I don't want anything. So that the button is empty, and whenever we click that button, either X or O appears on that based on whose turn it is. So as of now, nothing is happening. So let's go ahead and kind of tweak our code so as to make sure that other things are also happening. So the first thing we'll do is we will write, let me see what are our requirements on backend front. So these are the requirements, like we wanted to know who is the winner, we wanted to update the score, and we wanted to reset the board. Along with this thing, the very important thing is like kind of put X or O on click of button. So let's try doing that. So first, let's try to, whenever the button is clicked, let's add something to it. So let me write a function here. So what I'll do is I'll write a function private void, and the function will be on the click of button. So I can say button clicked, and what I want. So I want the button. So button, I want button in the parameter. So whenever that particular button is clicked, I'll kind of take that button in the parameter. So I want that button in the parameter. And then here, what I'll do is, so I need to kind of write some logic to make sure that I'm putting an X and an O here. So for that, kind of, let me see, I need to check the turn and everything. So I can simply say key if I need to create a turn variable first. So here we have, so let me kind of say key boolean private boolean player x turn, and let me set it as true. So here I can check key if x turn, if it's player x turn, then I can say button dot set text and set text. So I can put an X, and then if else, I can say button dot set text, and I can say O. So I have set an O. So if X turn, we'll set X, and otherwise we will kind of set O, and we kind of change the turn variable. So how we will change it? So let's suppose it's X turns, and I have initially the turn will be of X as I have set it true. So how can I make X turns as false? So I can simply say if player turn equal to, I'm just kind of reverting it. So if it is true, I'll make it false. If it is false, I'm making it true. And based on that, here player X turn and player Y turn. So this is how this will work. And obviously then return. Also, So let's suppose if there is already some text on the button. So let's suppose here there is already some X or Y or O, and then I'm still clicking it. So what should I be doing in that case? So for that, I need to kind of check if button dot get text dot is equals, and that is kind of nothing, or so then only I should be doing these things. So if it is nothing, then only I should do, or else I'll should plainly return. So yeah, that's it. Pretty simple. So this is done. This is an event kind of. So this is a functionality. And now what I need to do is I need to kind of, so this is a function I have written. I want this function to be called on click of every button. I want this function to be called on click of every button. And now let's see how we can do that. So let's go here where we are creating our buttons, and we have a functionality. So button dot set on action. So this is a method with help of which we can kind of put events on the button. So whenever putting events means, so whenever that button is clicked, that functionality will be executed. So I can say event and what is the event that I have written? Button clicked. So this is the functionality, and I can kind of pass the button. So that's it. I have kind of attached it to. So remember this is very important. If you wanted to know a bit more about it, kind of here you can read. So button set on action JavaFX. I don't want images. So, set on action method of button is to define what will happen. So, this is official documentation. Yeah. So, yeah, creating a button and a lot of things is given. Let's see. Enables developer to process an action when user clicks the button. That's it. So, whenever the user will click, you will perform some action on the button. There are a lot of other links as well. So you can kind of go through this Geeks for Geeks and Java T point should be there. So you can use those links, but let's go ahead and we have added. Let's see if the functionality is working or not. And I'm trying to click. Whoa. So I'm getting an X and then I'm getting an O. Let me click here. No, nothing, nothing. Then click here. Again, it's X. So now O should come whenever I click on any empty button. So O is there. Let me say now X should come. So X is there. And now again an O. Yeah. So this is done, folks. So great. So whenever I'm clicking the button, I'm able to kind of put an X or an O on the button. So pretty simple now. Like we just wrote a button and make sure check some conditions, and that's it. So this is kind of the first functionality. Like we are now able to click, and based on that click, we are kind of able to generate X and O depending on it. Now the next step should be like whenever the X or O is completed, we should be able to say ki, yeah, the game is kind of stopped and this person is winner. Either X is winner or O is winner. And then based on winner and everything, we need to update the scores as well. Okay, folks. So let's go ahead and try to understand like what are the winning conditions and when a player can win. So now what I'll do is I will kind of take this UI and then go ahead and try it. So I'll take a screenshot and then we can go on the board and try to see. So like now what we are working on, winning condition, like winner, who's the winner? We are finding winner. So let me paste this. So yeah. So let's understand when anyone is a winner. So let's say if we have an X here, an X here, and an X here, then this person is winner. X is winner. Similarly, if we have same situations here as well, or same situation here as well, then X is winner. So, or if O is also, then O is winner. So I can say if uh, in a row, all values are same. Values means button, X or O are same, then it's a winner. Then winner. So this is one condition. Now let's go ahead and try to see other way around. If let's say now let's take O. So if there is an O here, and O here, then O will win. If we have a series of O here, then O will also win, or X is also, if there is an X, X will also win. So we can say that also in a column, all values are same, then it's a winner. These two are very clear. Then there is one more very important one. What is that? If there is an X here, this is also a winner. So also it happens for this as well. So here I can say like diagonal. If all values are same, then this person is also winner. So what we understand from this is like there are kind of three winning conditions. Three things when a player can win. And obviously, right now, also this row is same, but there is no value. So with all this, we need either X or O, any value, that's it. So let's say row, all values are same, then column. So we have 3 rows, 3 columns, and diagonal. So on a diagonal, if all values are same, then also that will be a winner. Right, folks? So let's go ahead and what I request you to pause the video and kind of write conditions for some time. Like, try to see if you can write in a conditional manner, and then see, then you can kind of move ahead. So let me go back to the code. I am back at my code, and here I will kind of write a new function. I will write a new function here, and I'll give this function as name as check winner. So private void check winner. And yeah, so the check winner method. And now we need to kind of, as we have discussed here, there are three conditions. So I will write here in my method as well, key row, and then the second will be column, and then we will have kind of say diagonal. So now just pause the video here and see if you can write a condition for finding if the winner is, if there is any row which is filled with X or O, anything. So pause the video and try to do that. And then maybe you can rewind the video and see like how. So for any row, you know where our buttons are. So our buttons are in this button grid. Here we have, while creating, we have created each button and added that. And what we need to check, we need to check the text on that button. We need to check the text on that button. So kind of let me try. So how I can do that? So sorry. How I can do that is like here we have three rows. So I'll write a loop to iterate over all three rows. For I. So I equal to 0, I less than 3. We have only 3 rows and I plus plus. And now I need to test like what is the kind of winning condition. So if I can say row, instead of I can take row variable as well. This will look better. So kind of let me take row here and then row here as well, so that it makes a clear sense. So if taking proper variable names really helps, you know, now if someone will look at I, they will try to understand what is it. But now looking at row, they will clearly understand if there is a grid, it's being talked about row. So if I can say buttons, I can put row and then the column. So we have 3 columns. So 0th column dot get text. So this is the method with help of which I can get text from the button. And I can say dot equals. So this is a Java method. You people must be aware of it. Equals. And I want to equate it to what? I want to see if it is equal to the next row. So button next column means what I'm trying to check is if this condition, this one, like this button's text, this button text, and this button text, all are equal or not. So row, again we have 1 here dot get text. So this is one condition. So I'm trying to check if the text what is written on the 0th row is same as what is written in the first row. So that's one condition. Now we need another conditions as well. So I will add another condition here. And buttons row. Now I can check first row dot equals I think get text. First get text dot equals, and I can now this condition will be true when the first 2 columns, I think this column's value will be same. This has also an XOR row and this also has an XOR row. And if this is same, it makes sense to check this as well. So now first I've checked this one. Now I'm trying to check this. So equals again buttons row, and then obviously now the second column dot get text. If this is same, this is second condition. Also if there is something blank, if it is blank, then also it will be same. So to avoid that, I need to add another condition as well, and not buttons dot row buttons row 0 dot get text dot is empty. So I can check if it is empty or not. So the first condition, let's try to understand these conditions well, so that we have a very clear understanding of what we are kind of trying to figure out here. So in this if, we are trying to see if the zeroth column for any row, zeroth column and first column values are same or not, and then first column and second column values are same or not, and zeroth column value, all three, this will make sure all three values are same, and then if the zeroth first column value is empty or not. So they will be same if they are empty as well. So to avoid that, we are checking this. Yeah. So if all these condition met, in that case, we will have a winner. In that case here, we will have a winner. We will have a winner. So this is kind of a very important part. So whenever we wanted to check what is the winner, for row we have done. And similarly, we can do for column. Similarly, we can do for diagonal. But let's do some other thing. Let's say we find the winner. Here, based on these conditions, we have a winner. What is it that we want to do next? What is it that we want to do next? So whenever we will have a winner, we wanted to show some information, like who is the winner, and then we will kind of wanted to stop the game. So let's try to do that. So what I'll do is I'll write, I wanted to show some information, show some dialogue key. This is the winner. So let me write a method for that. So private void, and then I can say show winner dialog. And then here I need a winner. So winner will be either X or O. So let me take it in the form of string. And then I can say string winner. And for showing dialogues, we have a very kind of easy way. So there is an alert control. JavaFX scene control. So we have an alert equal to new alert. So this is an alert control. First of all, let's go and kind of read a bit about it. So I'll open my browser and I'll give alert JavaFX. So alert class is a subclass of dialog class and provides support for number of pre-built dialogues type that can be easily shown to the users. So kind of let's open tutorial points. Let me close others. So, alert is a dialog which show pre-built dialog types. So there are dialogues which are pre-built. You can create alert by instantiating alert class. So that's the way. Alert, new alert, alert type, alert type equal to confirmation. So, in confirmation, there should be a yes, no, or cancel. But we don't want that. We just wanted to inform. So let me see what are the alert types we have. So alert type dot. Yes, we have an information alert type. So I wanted to just inform the key, this person is the winner. So I have selected that. So we have an alert, and it's like kind of, let's put some text here. So alert dot, I think text, or set text, Oh, yeah, we have a set content text. So set content text and set header text. So let's see this set content text. So I'll say the winner, or I can say congratulations. Congratulata. Congratulations, and I can say winner X or O, and then I can put some again you won the game. So this is the alert I can put, and now so this is the alert we have created, and this is what we wanted to show. And to show this, there is a method. So alert dot show and wait. So this is the method. So very simple thing. So kind of I have created an alert, and let's say we have a winner. Let's say we have a winner. Then let's show it. So we have called this method. We can call this method, and then who is the winner, X or Y? So I can simply kind of say a winner string winner equal to I can say this is kind of this will be the winner if that's the case. So this should be enough, and I can pass this winner here, and this should be good enough. So let's see if someone wins, then are we able to show our dialog or not. So I have rerun the application, and let's see. So let's play the game in a way that, so this is X. Oh, we have kind of created only for row. So I'll create a O here. Then again, I'll create an X here. And then again, I'll create a O here. And then here I will create an X. And on this, it should kind of say the winner. Okay, but nothing happened. Let's see if we have kind of called our winner method or not. Oh, well, so we haven't called it. So where are we supposed to call this method? Come on, folks, I want an answer from you. Pause the video and think for a while where we need to call. So, we need to call it on the click of button. Simple enough. So here I can kind of check for the winner. Here I can call check winner. And now let me rerun the application. So on click of button, some X or O will change, and then there is a chance that someone might have won. Okay, now let me try that. So X, O, X, O, and then X. Nothing happened. Nothing happened, but I think the method is fine. It should have called, but no worries. Let's see why it is not called or what is the issue. Let's try to see if this condition is true or not. So what I'll do is I'll simply put a out statement, out system.out.println, and winner. I shall print winner. That's it. And then let me try that. So if a winner is coming or not, that's or okay. So X O X O X O X O, and then again X here. Okay, message, congratulations, X, you won the game. So I think, when a column is complete, we got the winner. So I think while placing the buttons, we may have made some mistake of row and column. So that we can correct, or maybe we can, yeah. So I think, let me see, when a column is complete, we got, so here, in this, I have kind of added the buttons. So in grid, I think the first is column and here first is row. Okay. So, for grid, let me kind of see grid pane, add JavaFX. So let's see how it adds, like what is the first, it's column. Okay. First is column index and then row index. But in normal array, it's otherwise. So first is row index and then the column index. So I can put J here and then I here. This should work. And yeah. Now let me run the application and now it should work on row. I hope you people understand. Like this buttons is like IJ, so row and column, and here it's column and row. So I need to flip it. Now X, O, X, O, and then X. Whoa, message, congratulations, X won the game. Don't want this message. So I think this is some kind of header text. So let me go here, show dialog, and I'll write alert.set header text, and I'll say null. Now let's see what happens. Okay, it's running, and I need to kind of again create so this is for the first row. Now we'll try for the third row. Okay, I missed one chance. Again X, O, and then X. Congratulations, you won the game. Exactly, that's what I wanted to show. And yeah, we are done. Great. Obviously, if we want to add some more text and everything, we can do that, but let's leave it. Let's move ahead. So yeah, we are now able to announce the winner. That's one part. So congratulations, folks. We are able to announce the winner. Let me kind of play the game again. So this is kind of, we can mark as a completion of, let me try for the middle row as well. Oh, I missed. Then again, I have to try for the end one, X, and then O, and then X. Okay, cool, folks. So on till this point, we have created a basic UI. We are able to put X and O, and finally we have announced the winner. So congratulations. I think in a way, the basic version of game is ready. Now, obviously, we need to kind of remove X and O, update the score, a lot of things. But we'll see those things in the next videos. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure that you complete till this point all by your own, and then only come back to kind of see the next videos. So till now, we have kind of completed almost our basic game. And now we kind of need to move on and build some like cleanup and how the game should exactly look like, right? So in the previous video, we have kind of written logic for game and all, and then we created our winner condition. So we have checked for the winner. Obviously, we haven't completed this method. Still column and diagonal needs to be worked out. But before that, let's say if someone wins, then what all other things we need to do? So on our UI, we have a scoreboard. On our UI, we have a scoreboard. So if we go on and take a look back to our requirements, so winner, we need to update the score and we need to kind of reset the board. So these are two things that we need to do. So let's go ahead and kind of update scores now. So this is our scoreboard, player X equal to 0, player Y. So instead of player Y, first let me correct it as player O. So here is player Y. So I'll correct player O and player O. And now let me go ahead and kind of write a method like update score. So Here I will write a method for updating our score. So private void update score. And in the score, I wanted to know like who's the winner. So string winner. So how we will update score? So we need some global variables. So here I'll go back and create some more variables. So private int player x score equal to 0, and then player o score, and that is also equal to 0. So I have now player score counters, and that's what I'll update here. So coming back to what should I say? Where is my player X update score? So here in update score, if winner dot equals is X. If winner equal to X, then I need to say score, I think X score simply plus plus, and then I need to kind of update that score as well. So player X score, player X score label dot set text. So here what will be the text is like player X, and then we can kind of simply add the score. So plus X player X score. This is good enough. If else if, or obviously we will call this method only if we have a winner. So we can, instead of, we can here write simply as well, the player O score plus plus, and then player O score label dot set text. Oh, this is set text, not translate. And here we can kind of put player O, and here I can again say player O score. So we have kind of updated the score, and now we need to relate this method properly. So I'll go ahead and I'll call this method here after the dialog. So I can say update score, and then kind of I'll pass the winner. Also, as this method is working, I don't need this one. So we'll have the winner, and we have kind of show like who is the winner, and then we are kind of updating the score. After updating score, once any player wins the game, then we need to reset the board as well, so that they can start the new game. So let me write another method for that as well. So private void reset board. And how I'll reset the board? So simply when I say reset the board, it means kind of setting all the values to the buttons. So now buttons we have text X and O. So now all we want is the text changes to nothing. That's it. And the scores remain. So let's go ahead and kind of set our button text to nothing, simply just like we have initialized. And we have kind of 9 buttons. So for that, what I'll do is I'll write for loop for, I don't know if you are aware of this for loop or not. So for buttons, button, row, and then buttons.
So this will kind of take a row of buttons, and then we have for button, button, and row. So we have taken a row of button, and out of that we are kind of extracting each button, and now button dot set text is simply nothing. That's it. We are done, and the board will be reset. So this reset board is pretty simple, nothing much complex. So this is also done, and kind of let me call this method here as well. So I am kind of fetching out the winner, showing a winner dialog, and then updating the score, and after that resetting the board as well. So now it looks kind of functionally complete. So now let me rerun the application and see if everything is working fine or not. And then we can kind of, obviously, till now we are only checking winner for row. So let me check here this time in the central row. And yeah, congratulations, you won the game. And I press OK, and the board is reset. And the score is also updated. So player X is, now let's try for O. So here we have an O. Okay. And then here we'll have an O, and then X, and here we'll have an O. So now we have a winner. The board is still waiting, no changes. So congratulations, you won the game. And as soon as I press OK, the board is reset, and now O also have a score. That's it. Kind of, I can say we are done almost. Not almost, we are fully done. But as of now, we are checking our scores only for, let's say, and yeah, there is one more thing. Here, there is no clear winner. There is a tie. So in that case, we kind of need to check for that condition as well. So on tie. So kind of now let me come here and complete this function. So how I'll do is I will copy this code and modify it. So for column, we just need to change something. So for column, we have a call, and then we have a call, and then we have a call. We need to do same things. So here we will have a 0, and then here we will have a call. Here we will have 1, and here we will have call. Here we will have again 1, and here we will have the column. Same, it's like here we will have 2, and here we will have, what should I say, call. And here also we will have 0, and here we will have call. So I just kind of reverted it to row. I have replaced the kind of row numbers, and then to the column is now a variable. Here also I need 0, and then here I need a call. So that's it. I think nothing more needs to be changed. So we are done with column as well. And now we need to kind of check for diagonal. But before that, let's see if column is working properly or not. So I'll try now the game for columns. So kind of column X, X, and then X. Yeah, columns is also working fine. If one is working, then others will also work. Now let me kind of do it for diagonals. So we have 3 columns, and kind of we have 2 diagonals, 1 and 2. This one. So kind of let's go ahead and check it kind of manually. So I'll kind of copy this inner code and just modify it for diagonal. So when I say diagonal, we have this is, let me kind of go here and make it clear. So it's like when it's about diagonal on this. So here what all we are checking. So when we are talking of diagonal, we have 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 2. This is one diagonal, and another diagonal will be kind of this is 0, and then I think, no, this is the row, right? So we have second row and zeroth column, first row, first column, and this is zeroth row and second column. So this is one diagonal and this is one diagonal that we need to test for. So let's do it. In the code. So we have kind of 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 2. Here also we need 0, 0. And it's like for the another diagonal. And other things, if someone is a winner, then we need to do same set of things. Also, it's like if this is complete, then there is no point of going ahead and checking everything. So I'll do a return. Here also, if this is done, then return. Here also, if this is done, then return. One diagonal is complete. I'll do for another diagonal as well. So here now what are our diagonals? So we have 2, 0. So on row we have 2, 0. And the second we have 1 on 1, 1, and then 1, 1, and we have 0, 2. And okay, this is still call, so this should be 0, 0. And this is like 0. Anything 0, 2 or 2, 0, anything will work. So let me write it as 2, 0 only. So this is also done. And obviously this also needs to be 2, 0. So okay, so now we have checked for both diagonals. And now let's see if diagonal is working or not. If the diagonal is also working, in that case, we kind of need to check for a tie. And how we will check for the tie, that's also one question. So diagonal and diagonal. We have a winner, great. Now O, O, and O. Congratulations, O, you won the game. So both diagonals are also working. And now we need to check for a tie. So how we will check for a tie, that's the next question. How we will check for ties. So let's come here again. So when there will be a tie, so what is condition for having a tie? That's a question. So tell me, just pause the video for a while and think when there will be a tie. So the tie will be when no one is winner and all of the boxes are filled. So let's say X, O, X, O, X, O, and then we have an X, and then an O, and again we have an X. So here you can see that all the boxes are filled, but no row is same, no column means you can't draw a line. This is also not, 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 and this is also not. So all, I think 3 plus 3, 6 plus 2, 8 winners are not, 8 winner lines are not meeting. So this is the tie. So we can say that when after checking all the conditions for winners, if none is winner, and it's like if there is a tie. So if there is a tie means all buttons has some value, or none is empty. And how can we check for that if none is empty? I think we already have written some code for that. Here in reset board, we are setting everything to empty. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this code. And kind of here write tie. Then I'll create a boolean tie equal to true. And then if I got any value, so I can say button dot get text and that get text dot is empty. If this condition is true, if this condition is true, in that case tie equal to false, and then break. I hope you understand this key. If there is a case that I have setting tie as true, and if any of the buttons is empty, then the tie will be false. If tie is true, so in that case, we need to do is kind of announce tie and then kind of reset the board. So we haven't written anything to announcing a tie. So kind of let me create a dialog for that as well. And here in the dialog, yeah, we haven't set the header, I think title. So there is also very important thing. So alert dot set title, and I'll put as winner. And now I'll just copy this method and paste it. And instead of show winner dialog, I'll say show tie, T-I-E, tie dialog. And here we don't need anything. And we can say that game over, it's a tie. Over. Game over, it's a tie. Okay, now just need to clear all this stuff. We don't alert, and this I can say a tie, and everything else looks fine. So tie dialog, I can call this dialog here and then reset the board. That's it. So let's see if our tie is working or not. And I think with that, we will be almost near completion of our game. Okay, so let's try to create a condition for tie. So X, O, X, and then I should say O here, and then an X here, and kind of then again an O here, and then an X here, and then again an O here, and an X here. Game over, it's a tie. And when I said press OK, awesome folks. So X, O, X, O, X, O. Congratulations, O, you won the game. Now X, O, X, O, X. Congratulations, X, you won the game. And then the tie. So winning, tie means X winning, O winning, and tie. All three conditions we have kind of successfully done. So, folks, means this is kind of a completion of the game. Obviously, we can tweak our UI a bit more. Instead of we can give some colors to X and O as well. So in that way, it will look better. We can kind of add some more functionalities as well. So, but everything that apart, the important part is functionally our game is complete now. So let me kind of stop here. Let's pause here and then see you in the next video. There we will tweak our UI to some extent. That's it. So now, as we see in the previous video, we have completed our game functionally. Our game is fully functional. We are updating the scores. We are checking for tie, and we are also kind of checking for, let's see what is the condition. So, oh, congratulations, you won the game. We are winning the game. Let's see again, an X, O, O, and we'll get an X and an O. Congratulations, you won the game. So things are happening properly. Scores are getting updated. Now there's just one thing which is remaining, is like kind of tweaking the UI. So it's up to you. You can tweak the UI if you want, or you can leave it. But
good looking is really important. So what I'll do is I'll kind of make some little bit changes to kind of tweak the UI. So kind of UI finishing touch to UI, finishing touch to UI. So first thing which you see is a bit odd here is this one. The title itself, Tic Tac Toe. It should be in the center. So the title should look good when it's in the center. So let's do that thing. And if you see, everything is kind of smushed, so we should kind of give some border as well. So let's go ahead and kind of give a border to our root pane itself. So root dot, and we have the method set padding set. So if you wanted to kind of read more about this, read it. So set padding, new insets, and in this we wanted a padding, so just give it, let's say 10 or 20, anything should work. So I am giving it as 20 so that we have a 20 pixels of length outside. So let's see. So a padding of 20, it should kind of, we should be able to see it everywhere. So let's see, I have run the application, and yeah, so you can see now from each side we are having a 20 pixels of gap, and now it is looking good. So that's one part, folks. So we have kind of set a padding for kind of 20 pixels from all the sides. So that's one tweak in the UI. Read about this if you want, or else it will work without going into much details of it as well. The another thing which is not looking that good is this title should come into the center. So let's do some changes for that. So here we have kind of set our title, and now let's see how we can kind of bring it to the center. So we have border pane dot set alignment. So it is used for setting alignment of nodes. So we have a title label and then pause dot center. Yeah. So we want that label into the center. So now let me rerun it again. Okay, so it is now in the center. Even let's say I zoom it fully, the full screen, still it's in the center only. So that's a good thing, folks. Whatever the size of window, this will now remain in center. So kind of let's do the same thing for these two things as well. So let me do that. So let me kind of finish the zoom. So now this is looking good. And now let's move our this grid pane to center as well, and this score to center as well. So let's try to align this score box in the center as well. So we have scoreboard dot set alignment, and let's give it as pause dot center. So same thing, setting alignment to the center, and let's see how it is looking now. And the best way is to zoom it fully and then we'll see it. Okay, it is in the center. It is still in the center. So these two things are set. Now the only thing left is this grid pane. So let's try for that as well. Let me decrease the size, and let me see how we can change this grid pane to the center as so just like we have set for this border our title, same thing let's do for the grid pane as well. So here after the end, I'll just copy this and kind of put it here, like yeah, and I'll give grid pane here. So for the title we have set alignment, and for the grid pane also we are setting alignment. So now let's see after rerunning how things are looking. And I think after this basing alignments and everything, okay, so it is looking at the center, but still it is in the side only, right?
And that could be the case, like it might be occupying the full space. Kind of let me do one thing. So grid pane dot set alignment and paths dot center. Yeah. So let me rerun. Mhm. Okay. And now let me zoom in. Whoa, we have things almost the way we wanted. If you wanted to increase the text of these things, we can kind of increase a bit more. So maybe here on the title, instead of 24, I can go it as 35. And the scoreboard looks fine and button also looks fine. So the title should be big enough. And yeah, this looks good. Moreover, if you want, we can give some more space here and some more space here as well. But that's up to you. UI can be tweaked as much as you want and as less as we want, just like it was earlier. Uh, so that's how. And now the game is fully ready. UI is looking fine. And yeah, that's it, folks. So thanks a lot for watching the videos. We are done on UI formatting as well. If you wanted to format the UI in some other way, any better way, feel free to do it. You can do it as kind of as much as you want. There is practically no end to it. You can create and you can kind of resize things as you want. All up to you. Try all the variations, play with the UI, and it should be good enough. Let me kind of walk you through the code once more so that if you have a very clear idea. So we have some auto-generated code here. Then we have our this method, create content, and it has a kind of border pane. It is returning in the border pane. We have created title, game board, and finally our scoreboard, added everything in return. And then we added some functionalities like on the button click, it should kind of put X and O based on turn and then check for the winner. This return is useless, so let me delete it. And then we have check for winner. We are checking for winner in the row, in the column, and the both diagonals. And then finally, we are checking if there is a tie. And if there is a tie, we are showing a tie dialog and resetting the board. On winner, we are announcing the winner and updating the scoreboard, obviously, and then resetting the board. So these are things which we are doing. And then we have methods for showing both dialogues, updating the score, and resetting the board. That's it, folks. So, and this is our game which we have made fully functional from scratch. Let me kind of, yeah, so game is now completed. Now kind of let me give you some idea like how you can write it in your resume and how you can present it in front of an interviewer. So it's like our finishing touch to UI. Well, this is completed. Now let's talk about kind of resume. Resume. So in the resume, make sure you kind of, let's say the name. So if you have a heading, something like projects, so you can put the name here as Tic Tac Toe. Then you can write a few lines about description of the game. What is it? Like it's an application, digital version of usual Tic Tac Toe, which we play on the paper. Like that you can write. And then in the next line, you can mention about the technologies, whatever we have used. Or, here by putting a line, you can say Java FX and then Java. This should be good enough. That's it. And then like if in an interview, you can kind of explain. So what could be the questions? So the question will be how you are checking for the winner. So that
you need to explain it pretty well, how you're checking for the winner. And then there can be question regarding JavaFX. What is JavaFX? So don't try to learn everything in JavaFX. Try to have an idea of only what we have used. What we have used in game. So we have used a border pane, a grid pane, an H box, label, and button. That's it. And some dialog. So you can clearly list down those things. So we have used buttons. Let me write. So you should be knowing about them. Pane and different like border pane, and then grid pane. So you should be knowing about these. And then we have label. And finally we have, what should I say? The dialog box. So these are the controls you have used, and then like how you are checking the winner, how you are updating the score. So these are the things which you should be knowing. Try to build the game fully and read about these things. These things should be good enough. So that's it, folks. All the best for your interviews, all the best for your jobs and everything, and have a great learning. So thanks a lot for watching. Have a great time ahead. Bye-bye. See you.